Hey guys, I just got my Sony doubled in kit for my Street Glide, and I've run into a few issues that I can't really find any information out there, so I thought I'd make a quick little video to kind of show how to install one of these things and hopefully maybe save some other people some headache. I've actually already got the radio installed. The instructions that come with it kind of show pretty good on how to take the old unit out and how to put the new one in. But one of the issues I've come in contact with is if you look here at the front, if you go in there, like if I shine the light, you kind of notice that the mounting bracket and the bike don't line up very good. There's a nice big gap in between right in this area here, so it doesn't, you know, you can see a little better right there. So it obviously doesn't seal very well. So I think what I'm going to try and do is pull this off where it mounts, where the radio mounts to the bracket here mounts to the plastic bracket. I think I'm going to try and put some shims or something in there to hopefully clean that up, and then it ain't quite as bad. But if you look up on top of the radio where the radio actually goes into the mounting bracket, can't see it quite as well here, but if you go over here, you can kind of see the light shining through there. So it's pretty minimal, the actual radio shining through the gap between the radio and the bracket. But I'm kind of anal about that stuff, so I think I'm gonna try and make that and clean that up so it fits nice and tight there. I don't want no gaps or nothing where water or something can get in. So I'll kind of keep making these little videos here and show you how the progress goes, and maybe hopefully help somebody else out here. Alright, so what I did here is I put some shims in between the mounting brackets and these little plastic plates. It still left a nice sizable gap in there. So as you can see, what I did to fill that was I just put some foam in between there, some stickable foam. That's not really the way I wanted to do it, but here's the stuff I use, just some foam stuff. Like I said, it's not the best way, it's not what I really like, but it works and it closes it up. And but like I say, I wish I could have had a better way, but they just don't seem like it contours to the bike, and it'll leave a little bit of a gap in there. So the guy probably never noticed it. The only one who really notices is the guy that installs it, so it's probably not that big a deal. Another thing I did was I added some shims in between these metal brackets and the actual piece of plastic, and that may have gave me a little bit, but not a whole heck of a lot. Then I was able to kind of adjust how the radio sat in there and got that gap that I had on the top side up here filled up. You can see that in there. So then what I did to kind of seal it all up is I just took some of this clear Gorilla tape, and then I just kind of ran that across all my seams, just in case there is a spot that's a little bit loose or open. It's not going to bring water in there or a bunch of dust or all that crap in there. So that'll probably help kind of seal her up. So then what I did was I started wiring the unit, which is pretty basic. You kind of follow the wiring diagram that they give you. It's, you know, hook the white wire into the white wire that comes with the loom on the wire, and basically just match all the colors up. But then once I went to go turn the bike on, when I was all done wiring it, went to turn the bike on, turn the radio on, and nothing happened. There was no power. So I was thinking, you know, what the hell did I do wrong here? Everything was double checked, everything was hooked up right. Wasn't sure, there's some extra leads here. Wasn't sure if these need to be hooked up, but it never really says in the instructions what those are for. I think they're possibly for a radio other than a Sony unit. And it basically says you don't need them, so I was kind of racking my brain until I took a test light, and this red wire, which is supposed to be your keyed hot, was never getting power. So basically what I did is I run a little jumper wire in there and put some power in there, turn the key on, sure enough, thing fired right up. So I'm assuming there's probably a better way to get a keyed hot on here. But so you know that I'm not really sure what that is. All I did was I ran a T in there into that red wire, and then I ran it up to my cigarette lighter. There is a purple and like a bluish wire in there. That's your keyed hot for your cigarette lighter. So that's actually where I ran that. Plugged everything in, put it back all together. And you do not need these, so I'll tie these all up and loom them up and whatnot. Covered all my wires up to make it look a little cleaner. And so basically come around here, fire it up. There you go, she fires up. All around it looks pretty nice. So far I like the radio. There's probably some more tooling around I gotta do with it. But everything seems like it works good. There's a little bit of learning. I know one thing that I don't like so far is the little volume knob. If you look at it here, it's right up against the housing, the little plastic cover here. So it's really, really close. I don't even know if you could fit a piece of paper in between the thing. I mean, it's still usable. You can still turn it, but it's kind of sucks. I wish they would have taken this piece of plastic here and maybe molded it a little more, which would have brought this radio out a little farther, maybe a little more flush. It kind of just sits in there indented. They could have, milled that in so it actually came out a little bit more, make it a little more flush. But all in all, it looks pretty badass, and I'll finish buttoning this up here, and if I come across anything else, I'll make sure to add it onto the video. Alright guys, got her all installed. Sounding pretty sweet. All in all, I think it's a pretty nice kit. One thing I really didn't like about it was the gaps in the corner here, and I think some of the new ones coming out kind of taking care of that. And then the volume knob kind of sucks where it's right at there. But other than that, kit was pretty good. The only other thing I noticed was it does not come with an antenna adapter. I had to buy a little cheap $5 adapter online. Not a big deal, but you think they could have threw that in there with the kit. Only other pointer I got for you is when you go to run your controls, you'll notice right out of the box it doesn't change the song, and about the only thing that works is the volume. And I thought for whatever reason mine didn't work, but it's a pretty simple deal. You just got to go to the settings and set them up. If I can get the thing over here. Basically, you just want to do your steering control on custom, and then set your custom controls. So then you just hold down this function, tell it which function you want it to do, and then it'll do that. Right out of the box, you got to set that. And then the only other thing in settings is every once in a while the display likes to show up saying what options it has on there, and you just gotta in here, I can't remember exactly, but there's a spot to basically turn that off. Otherwise, every minute or so it'll turn the settings or whatever on what it offers, like Bluetooth and stuff like that. But other than that, it's pretty good. I got horns installed, speakers installed, got everything from Badass Bikes. They supplied everything, pretty sweet speakers, got the horns, badass amp. So I got that from them guys, got all that installed. Got my amp mount from Custom Cycle Parts. That thing ain't going nowhere, she's saddled down. So just about ready to button her up here and go out and do some riding.